Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Hey, thinking game.
We number 60 now?
60, we going up there. Senior citizens in the game.
And we got to give a special thanks to Scoop Dog for letting us record on site.
Yes, sir.
What'd you get?
I got just a regular chili dog.
Oh,
it
God.
was amazing. You know what I mean?
Dogs, man.
All habits die hard.
Oh, man.
No Boilermakers this time,
No
though.
Boilermaker. I was going to ask you to get a Boilermaker. I got the not a dog because I'm eating to live. So it's chopped beef with bacon. I guess it's still like pork, I guess, but and cheese and mayonnaise. So, and but did you get some ice cream too?
Yeah, I got the same thing you
The
got.
golden retriever. My wife got me on the golden retriever. She got it last time. I said I got to try it now because she got it. But yeah, happy Father's Day coming up.
To all the
To
fathers.
the fathers.
Happy birthday to you. You had a birthday
I know,
come
man.
up.
Just turned 40, man.
Man,
You know,
40
feel
ounce.
pretty good, man.
cool, man.
You know, get my yearly checkup though. I need to go and get that done with Kegel, man. Is it Kegel?
Hegel.
Yeah, Hegel.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you definitely need to take care of your health.
Guys, take care of your health, man. Don't sleep on your health.
Bro.
Don't get offended if somebody say take care of your health, man. 'Cause
Yes,
you can't buy it back.
It's not exactly. Thinking about the health, I had a couple health mishaps. You don't think about dying.
Yeah.
But you can put yourself in a situation where, that can be an everyday thing. Is every headache a stroke? Is every time you get heartburn? If that a heart attack? Living with that type of anxiety, once you go through something like that, it's a real thing. So take care of your health on the front end.
Fellas, we've had older guys tell us this. We thought it wasn't real, but as you get older, you start realizing it. You can get your blood pressure or anything, you can get so sick that you don't work no more. As far as a man, what you think a man
Yes,
is, you don't work no
oh,
more.
man,
But we thought that was so fun. We was like 18, 19.
Yeah,
we thought that was no way.
I can get that in a second,
Yeah.
minute. Don't take nothing, but you can really lose that performance power, and you don't really want that.
Yeah, and as we got older, man, you start thinking like, man, maybe that was something true. Like I don't want to
It's
do
like,
that.
yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You look good, but you're not producing. So you had desires in your heart, but you can physically can't perform. You don't want that kind of life.
Nah,
So
you don't want
just
that
take
kind
care
of
of yourself.
So, with the Father's Day coming up, what are some of the things you think that's important that a father brings to the table as far as being in the household? Not being like a blended family where y'all don't put them like two-parent home, father bring that's sane, you know what I'm saying? That ain't doing nothing crazy.
So the role of a father in a child's life, right?
Right.
People think just because you can do it or do it well sometimes don't mean it should be done.
Right.
Right. I think it's very important. I think it's at least the minimum of two persons job.
Yeah.
The contrast you need
Yes.
in parenting is very needed, right?
Yes.
Because parenting styles complement each other.
Yeah.
I mean, really, I don't care if it's mom, grandma, but the father is usually different. Well, the gender roles say the father is supposed to be the hard one, this disciplinarian, but sometimes it's reversed. We got some really strict mothers and real relatable fathers. So neither one of them works by themselves.
Right.
But when you have that contrast where she's being
The judge, jury, and executioner.
exactly. And nobody's tending to the kids' emotional needs, just doing task-oriented, doing what you're supposed to do,
Right.
not acting up, in bed on time, eating what you're supposed to eat, you know what I mean? But see, now who's tending to the child's emotional needs? And that can be reversed too. Like the father is so military, driven.
Right.
He has that discipline.
Right.
Nobody's really hugging the child, and that's where the mom softness come in and kind of complement that. So I think it's very important to have that balance in a household and parenting to make your kid balanced. You know what I
Definitely
mean? You don't want to be too lovey-dovey,
Right.
too spoiled, but you also want them to be too stern, too strict, too goal-oriented, if that's the thing. where they, neglect their mental health or their physical health, trying to be, or have anxiety, trying to meet the standard of that high demand parent.
Right. So, and what I would say to that is too is, just because you're a dad, you still have to have some sense. Because I've had homeboys who grew up with, they'll tell me like, you don't have your dad, but I mean, my dad living, but I don't too much care for him. You know what I'm saying?
Care for him, know him.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, and it's an investment when you have a kid, that your time, if you look at it the right way, is invested to that kid. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, if you grew up in a broken home, you don't realize how much time you have to invest in your family, because you're used to going about to and fro, doing what you want to do, and you're used to seeing that. But if you actually have a two-parent household and they both divest in time to their family, you really don't have a lot of time outside of work to do what you want to do all the time. You just don't. You kind of find some time, but it ain't gonna be a lot of time if you want to really invest that time in your family. So moving right along to the next topic.
But I get this a lot, with fathers, the ones who take care of their business, they may not be in their father's life, and they come as adults, as grown men. Well, I don't have a relationship with my son or my daughter or my kid because they don't want to talk to me, or every time I talk to them, they don't want to talk. I don't want to force a relationship. Well, you're responsible for your relationship with that child.
Right.
That's a child.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You got to start early, and then if it's hard, you got to keep working at that.
And then
and don't expect at the end of your life, your kids want to make amends with you.
Right.
When you were in your 30s, you did what you wanted to do. You didn't pay attention to me. Now I'm in my 30s, and you elderly, 60, 70, 80, now you want me to care for you and be considerate of you and come by and visit you. When you were in your 30s, you didn't visit me as a kid.
Exactly.
You didn't talk to me on the phone.
Right.
And the tables can turn with you. So
unrealistic expectations.
Fellas, guys, non-custodial parents, it's your responsibility to build your relationship with your child.
Right. And we talk about this podcast called The Thinking Game. The thinking game of it all. It all comes back to you have to make a choice of who you want to procreate with. If you're out there playing, rolling the dice, and you hit snake eyes, you get the wrong person, you still got to raise that kid. And you got to figure it out. How can I do this and co-parent with this? You know what I'm saying? And I picked, you know what I'm saying? And, people say there's no instruction manual to being a parent, but there's a way to how to treat people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
I understand that with kids because it's different, but there's a way you can either steer your kids to go crazy, or you can love them kind of not to go that way. It just depends on how you raise your kids. You know what I'm saying?
And what they respond to you, and what you responded to when you were a child.
Right.
So we got spiritual roadmaps and tips and things, but people always say like, well, I'll have a baby by somebody, but I won't marry him because marriage is forever. Well, you can get a divorce. I mean, that's a contract, spiritually and legally. You can kind of weasel your way out of that. But when you have a child, that's forever. That's the forever thing.
Yeah, that's forever, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That love, romantic love, that piece of paper, the law, what the law says, and your spirit, that's one thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't love somebody no more, you get a divorce, right? But you don't love somebody, you still got that kid with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't feel like being the father today. That kid still exists.
Exactly.
You don't feel like being a mother. You don't feel like paying that daycare, but that kid is still there.
It's still there.
That's the lifetime commitment.
Yes.
People, I think sometimes, I may be wrong, this is just my opinion, people mistake a lifetime commitment, like the death do your part is in marriage.
Yeah.
They think that's the end all be all, but it's really to death do one or two or three of y'all when you make a kid. It's three people. It's me and her made a kid, and then that's the kid's life. So that's 3 lives. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You can't just go down to the courthouse and sign a paper and she not your baby mama no more.
Right.
Or that's not your child. Even if you sign a paper giving all your rights away, that's still your child.
Right.
DNA, biologically. Mm-hmm. So, people, think about that, you know, with
For
the
sure.
marriage thing and who you procreate with.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, this golden retriever good, bro. I'm tripping.
For sure.
Yeah. Moving to the next topic, we talking about kids, right? Somebody sent me this in text message, man. Shout out to Osiris Bali. He said, how do we engage the youth and young adults during the summer in Little Rock?
I mean, I think anybody who's active in kids, worked at a summer camp, daycare, or at a teacher's aide at school,
Right.
you know, that's the $1 million question. If you ever worked in a school in any kind of fashion, when kids come back from the summer, it's like you got to start all over. You know, got to rein them in. You know, and it's like, well, we can work at the summer camps or things like that. But that's for the kids who can pay.
Right.
Their parents can pay for a summer camp.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's only a small handful, you know what I'm saying?
You know, like, so me and my brother, shout out to Nick Pettis and a lot of others, we used to, before we started working in Dalton Weston, we used to volunteer there. So we were members, volunteers, and employees. So we went through every aspect of that. You know, start there, get in relationship with kids, because it's hard to start to throw an event, even if you're giving kids stuff at the park and nobody knows you. Like, who is this guy? Who is this strange guy at the park? So
what's his agenda?
Exactly, approaching youth is you know, it's a fine art to that too. Like, who is this guy trying to? You just want to help, but you know, you seem like a weirdo. So
and my thing too is there is categories of kids, right? Like, got kids that go to summer camp and they pretty much play all day, you know what I'm saying? Eat a lunch and they go back to playing, right? There's these kids that they can't afford to go there, so they may be in the house playing video games, probably to stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
People don't realize that. Sometimes the games keep the kids from getting in trouble in real life. And then there are those kids that are academic and they live in the hood, but they don't have an outlet to go to.
Yep.
In my opinion, if I get blessed, this is why we asking y'all to support us and subscribe to us. We would like to make a center for the kids who wants to plan out their post-education and career. Come to this place, talk about life. Before you get to the career, you need to learn about how life works, how communication works, you know, how to manage yourself as you become an adult, and then look at career paths. Like, what are you good at? You know, let's work toward that. Like, if you're good with your hands, let's go to, when you go to school, see if you can go to Metro and join a construction program or join an IT program or something. Get your skills, work on your skills as early as you can, and understand what your skill is so you know what to build around. We don't have a place like that in the inner city where kids should go to and learn about life, learn about different career paths. Like, how many kids know what a superintendent is? You know what I'm saying? Like, how many kids even know what a politician is? Like, what's a politician? You know what I'm saying? You see it on TV all the time. You know, you see these people, Nancy Pelosi and all these other people, but how do you get there though? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the path there? You know what I'm saying?
And the path is very important.
Yes.
The steps, like how to do this. Like, I can teach you 1 + 1, and I can teach you 1 + 1, and that's the value of this, and this is how we get to that, and what sign equals what, and what that means. But sometimes when people say chase your dream, well, what's step 1 and what's step 2? You tell me to get a trade, or you tell me to go to the school. Well, what's step 1,
right?
2,
And that's
3,
what we want to make. Exactly.
And that's what we want to try to make it, make common sense common.
Yes.
Right?
Like,
step by step. Yeah. You know what I mean? This is what, well, I don't know what to do. My mama didn't go to college. This and that. Like, some things people think is so simple. Like, you know, filling out an application. You know how many adults don't properly know how to write a resume and things like that?
For real.
You know, and cater it to each job.
Yes.
So, just things like that.
Yeah.
And like you were saying about the youth, it's different types of youth, right?
Right, yeah, definitely.
So I think everybody wants to help, but when everybody targets the same type of youth.
Yeah, like sports,
you know what
right?
I mean? Or sports.
Yeah.
You know, you got a monopoly of people that want to do sports because sports is fun for the coach and the kid, right? And then everybody wants to focus on the at risk.
Yeah, but that's a broad statement. Though.
Yes, they want to focus on them. So, like, well, Well, what about the kids who are doing good? Or what about the in-between kids, right? So it's gifted and AP scholarships that they can get for the good kids. But what about them tweener
Yeah,
kids?
about the
They're not
BC
bad,
level
but
kids,
they're,
D
you know what I
level
mean?
kids.
They're
Yeah.
not, overachievers, so
Right.
they won't get those scholarships. Everybody needs to focus on a certain group, and we can split that work up.
Yeah, because you teaching kids about life, they can cover all groups. Like understanding when you go to a job, there's never gonna be the perfect job ever. There's never gonna be the perfect job unless you own your own business. But before you own your own business, you have to understand how stable you have to be up here before you own a business. Because if you're not stable, you make $10,000. What you gonna do with that? If you don't invest that back into your business, if you're not stable, you just go out there. You think it's a hot boy summer now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or you spend all the money that you made, and then you can't pay the light bill at the end of the month for your business because you thought that was all your money. You know what I mean? But you shouldn't get that far making elementary mistakes like that. But you'd be
Right.
surprised.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. So we can talk about that on other podcasts too. It's so many. That's more of a conversation you just gotta have and like getting certain things in place. Because I know trying to find a building in Southwest, the real estate is so high right now. It's ridiculous, man. You know what I'm saying? But man, if you can find a place where kids can like in their proximity where they can walk to, man, and just teach them about different career fields. Because most kids, all they know is Walmart, Amazon, because that's what is being pushed to them. You know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I working in IT, like help desk or something like that. A kid don't realize they can start off in help desk and they can just move up from there. You know what I'm saying? And go to school, like you say, you get on there to college, you can work there and get the benefits at the same time. Like if you're a janitor at Walmart as a kid, if you're a janitor at Walmart or a custodian, you can work at Euler and be a custodian plus get half off on your school. Yeah. And your parking paid for because you work at the school, you just take it out your check or whatever. So moving to the next topic is this goes for adults, young adults, kids. I had to learn this. My bro taught me this. Don't be so proud that you cannot apologize.
Yeah.
Some people is just so proud, like, I ain't gotta apologize. I know I was right, man. Sometimes it ain't always about being right.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta apologize when you was right because your delivery wasn't kind. You know what I mean? You wanted to be brutally honest. You one of those people. Well, I'm gonna tell them how it is, and if it hurt their feelings, well, you could have, controlled it. Matter of fact, it would have been easier to deliver that message kind. You know what I mean? The old saying, you catch more flies with honey than you do venom.
Right.
Right. So you could have delivered it a little softer.
Right.
But you a savage though. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, I hurt your feelings. Because I was right.
Or I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. You know, right? You know what I'm saying? They put the if in there, like disclaimer, I guess.
Yeah. So
here's another thing too. Don't be so competitive that you can't. Sometimes losing can bring peace. Just by taking the L. Like, people say, I can't take an L. I got to get the last word. You're too competitive. I got to get the last word. But sometimes just being quiet, just say, hey, look, I'm sorry. I don't even know what I did. I'm sorry. I don't care about losing.
Here's the apologies again. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some people, it's hard for them to say I'm sorry, though. It's like an ego thing, I guess, or something like that.
You had to say it in that way. A lot of things, as a younger man, I didn't let stuff go. It didn't get to me, but I don't like uneven scales. You know what I mean? I got to tip the scale back even, or, I got to be up one. And I think about it, and it'll consume me until I get whatever that is that I wanted, the satisfactory outcome that I was looking for.
Yep.
But I gotten older. Hey, I can skip this whole war. I'm on already. They know I can win. And I can have peace if I just don't do this certain thing.
Right.
And I stopped doing it. You know what I mean? I stopped feeding into that, and I didn't have to fight a war, and I didn't lose anything. I just gained peace about a situation.
Yeah, I was telling somebody on Facebook, before you get married, it's like so much work you got to do on yourself before you get married. Like, if you have a hard time apologizing, marriage is gonna kick your butt. Because if you think you're gonna get married and never make mistakes, or if you think a person gonna marry you, they're never gonna make mistakes, now you're being unrealistic. You know what I'm saying? That's like impossible. You know what I'm saying?
And accepting apologies, you know what I mean? And
exactly.
not like, okay,
Yeah, for sure.
your mate or your friend or anybody does something and it hurts you.
Yeah.
And they apologize and they say, hey, that wasn't my intent. This is what I was doing. And some people are like, well, I need apologies without explanation. Well, there's no clarity. How can you accept the apology if you don't know what this person, was going through their frame of mind? I'm apologizing for this. Was my intent. And that's what happened. This is the result.
Right.
I didn't mean for you to get hurt.
Right.
That was never my intention. And then you can accept that apology better knowing where they were coming from. But, if you can't accept the apologies, you can.
It has to be the way you want it.
You didn't listen to their apology. Yeah. You just was focused on how their action made you feel.
Right.
And every time you think about that incident, you remember feeling bad, and it bring up bad memories. You can't walk around in a marriage like that.
Right.
So just because you think of something he did or she did 3 years ago and that's on your mind, you can't deal with your spouse or your child or your coworker because it's on your mind.
You take a score.
That's a you problem.
Yeah.
That person did everything they could.
Right.
They couldn't correct the situation, but now you understand. And understanding kind of leads to acceptance sometimes.
Yeah, see, I think some people, instead of understanding, they assume and they have unrealistic expectations.
And then don't leave room. They're assuming, but don't leave room.
You did this because of this. No, I didn't. I did because I just messed up. What do you mean I did this because of this? How are you going to tell me what my intentions was?
Exactly.
And a lot of people do that, you know what I'm saying?
And they don't want to hear your intentions because I'm mad.
Yeah, as I getting older, that don't even matter. Like, sometimes everybody grew up different. The intention of why you did that, I may not even need to know that. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather just take the apology. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving forward.
Exactly.
Because you may tell me some stuff, something that happened in third grade. You know what I'm saying?
So, that's the thing. Lying in apology could mess it all up. So, explanation and not excuses and not making up stuff. It's really.
But see, that's the thing. Some people say, because you explaining, you making excuses though. That's
exactly.
Yeah, you know
what I mean. Yeah. So some people don't want the understanding. They just want a sincere apology or whatever. But to me, always understanding what a person did. Like you robbed my house, but you still have a story about well, my mom was sick. You know what I mean. The crack was calling. You shouldn't have did that. You shouldn't have robbed my house. You know what I mean? I don't care what was going on.
Exactly.
That was an unacceptable thing.
Oh, yeah.
But if somebody took your ice cream out of the refrigerator, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I thought that was mine because I put one in there and I only saw mine, but Charles stole his.
Bro, I remember when we was in Conway, man. This is a real story. I'm not going to say no names. Dude who was playing the PlayStation, dude broke the PlayStation, man. Man, I promise I wanted to knock dude's head clean off.
Yeah.
The minute I was thinking about doing that, I started thinking about, like, man, if I do this, what is it going to cost for me to do this? And then I think about, like Leroy, rest in peace, and Nick and them on the football team, man. I know that would have cost them, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
I know they said I could have done it, but it still would have been selfish on my end. It would have cost them. It was just better to just walk away from that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that would have been.
But I ain't gonna lie, I did one. Yeah. But you have to think about that kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Be able to think through that stuff instead of just reacting. Because it would have been easy just to react and just go to town, you know what I'm saying? It would have been too easy. But
yeah, and then with my mentality, it was like my mentality, win or lose. I'm in there, you know what I mean? I don't think you're a good fighter if you so scared to lose you don't fight, you know what I mean? So when some things happen, you just want to do that, but it's easy.
Yeah. Because, man, things escalate, man. I mean, mess around to get into a fight, and then it turned into a murder one, man, just like that. It's just something crazy happens, you know.
Somebody fall, somebody won't let stuff go, things like that.
Yeah. So, have a little fun on this one. The best Tom Hanks movie character, which one you think was the best? Man,
I want to reach for the old classic Forrest Gump, but I really, really like Tom Hanks in Road's Petition.
Oh, yeah, Road Petition was awesome, yes.
But I'm going to go with...
Philadelphia?
I love Philadelphia. Tom Hanks in Philadelphia.
he didn't play every kind of character, like every kind of,
and it was believable.
A role, a lifestyle. You can,
And you know, some actors is just like, well, that's Tom Hanks in a war. That's Tom Hanks, you know, as a hitman. That's Tom Hanks trapped on the island. But Tom Hanks be them people. That's Tom Hanks is Mr. Rogers. Like he was really that dude.
I need to see that one. The one he was Mr. Rogers. I need to see that one.
So, but I gotta go. I did all my honorable mentions, but I gotta go with Saving Private Ryan.
Oh yeah,
he was so. It was such a kind of like original character. He was a teacher and a leader, and still a warrior, right? Because the way he led his men, you know what I mean. You believe.
And when he found Private Ryan,
it was just so many genuine reactions. Like sometimes it seemed like a man working with kids, but they in a war. You know what I mean? It was just like the way he talked to them, the relations, the range of emotions he had. You know. You really felt his character and felt his story, and then you never knew you would see Tom Hanks out there murking people in the war. I like to watch the first part of Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
And then stop it when he went to the military, and then start the movie Saving Private Ryan. And it's like Forrest Gump went to war, and that was his real.
Oh, I get it.
And
I can see that.
I play it out in my head like it's the same movie.
Right.
Like Forrest got a real gangster when he went
Yeah, like for me, the funniest probably was Forrest Gump.
Oh, for sure.
Honorable mention, Mr. Otto. We watched that on accident. Me and my wife. We was watching the Fire Stick. We was looking for another movie, and that came on. Let's go ahead. What's Tom Hanks? You can't lose, right?
Right.
Man, we watched that. It was like, man, it's actually a pretty good movie. You know
yes,
what I'm saying?
Sir.
Because there's a lot of people that act like they're on the job in real life. Like Mr. Otto, he captured it. Best movie that I think that's hard for anybody to do, Castaway. To play a movie by yourself, talking to yourself.
A lot of people tried to do that.
That's hard, man.
And he was just acting.
Yes, by himself. I mean, it was him and whatever, the elements, you know what I'm saying?
Mr. Wilson.
Yeah, Mr. Wilson, the ball and stuff like that, yeah. But yeah, even honorable mention, what was that one where it was supposed to be funny, but he kind of was that weird character that was in the basement? It's like one of them hack kind of comedy movies.
Oh, and he was I know it. It was
like an all-star cast too.
Yeah, like Marlon Wayans was in it. He had that little white hair. Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
I can't think of that movie.
It's funny to me.
Yeah, if you know that movie, put it in the comments.
Yeah, put it in the comments.
But another one. What's his favorite? Like the old movies, the '80s movies, like
Big. Big was one. They used to play that at school.
I like
Sleepless in Seattle.
Turner and Hooch with the dog. Hooch, I was like, what kind of dog is that?
Yeah. He got a lot of movies, man.
Yeah.
You probably have to look at a discography, and we probably missing a whole lot of movies.
A whole lot of movies, especially like
B-level movies you probably don't even think about, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you know, he went hard and went all of them.
Yeah. So, our next question is, this is for 80 people. Don't assume anything. Ask a question to know. A lot of times people do that. They just assume you're thinking something instead of asking you, what are you thinking?
And I think that's a them problem. They create.
Yes, for sure.
Small assumptions grow. Assumptions are like seeds.
Yeah.
You assume one thing, and then it grows into an idea, and next thing you know, you got a whole scenario where he probably went home and he told his wife about that, and he told her, and then he went to school, and you know he treat his kids like that. Like,
and then you ask him, did you ask him that? Did you ask him that? Did he say that? No, I'm just saying.
But you know how he is. He would do this. Yeah. Now you're judging somebody else's reactions on a what if scenario.
Right.
Like, if I ask him this, he gonna say this because of this. And like, now you living in a fantasy land, in a timeline you created yourself when you could have just asked a question. Right. But you know everything, right?
Boy.
So you don't gotta ask questions. You know that this was what this man's thinking. You know what he's feeling. You know what he's gonna say before he say it. Mm-hmm. You know what he had for breakfast. Mm-hmm. And that's just impossible. You know what I mean? You're not Professor X.
Mm-hmm. Even if you know somebody. Like, if you need to do it just for, like, entertainment, I guess you can assume for entertainment, because we do it all the time, entertainment. Yeah. You see somebody, like, I bet
you LeBron going to retire.
I bet you that person picked their nose when they driving their car. You know what I'm saying? It might not be true, but sometimes it's like a joke. It's like, man, I bet you they probably do that. Then you may see them do that, though. You know what I'm saying? But to make it 100% concrete, you can't do that on assumptions. You got to act, or you got to actually see that in fact. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I mean,
never thinking about it in life. Don't let your emotions make assumptions that's not factual. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then be telling other people about the stuff you assume.
Boy.
I mean, I know TV shows and the host, most of these sports shows.
Oh, yeah.
They make their living on assuming or guessing what another person is going to do.
They have inside information, though, yeah.
I mean, like 10 years.
Yeah.
So what inside information I get on what LeBron going to do in 10 years?
Sometimes he got some people that talk inside the camp. Sometimes he leak it out just to be relevant.
Even
if relevant.
He's really planning that, him going through with that plan is not a guarantee.
No, it's not. Nothing's guaranteed,
it's
right?
It's an assumption on his life based on his opinion and based on his plan. But, hey, until it comes true,
So, here's a question that's probably going to be pretty crazy, right? What factors into a person's beauty standard? I think a lot of people got this skewed, man. I think about when we was younger, right? It was like, what, getting out of high school?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Do you think most guys, they say 80%, is it really a beauty standard, or is it more just like, it's really game time? I don't really care, like.
Well, I think more so guys, kind of dress like, hey, what's popular or whatever.
No, definitely.
Trying to get, like, a guy can be 400 pounds, but he can get, like, Gucci shirt, Gucci belt, and Gucci shoes, and he still think he fly. He will go out there and do his thing because he's got his favorite shoes on and his favorite shirt.
Better have some money, though.
You know what I mean? But that's how he feels about himself, and that's what he judges beauty standard on. And it ain't working out. It ain't getting his body together. It's that standard.
Right.
So, a person's what's appealing to their eye.
Oh, definitely.
Is one part, how they was raised, the older beauty standards. You know what
about social media? You think that factored into?
I mean, well, that's what's trendy, right? Yeah. So, hey, what's going on? What's trendy, right? So, if at one point, thick women want this out. They want, like, what I mean? In the 80s, like,
man, you crazy.
In the 70s,
in the South?
No, in the 70s and the 80s,
what we were like, media?
Okay,
you talking about media-wise, or you talking about
media-wise, like in general? Like, okay, like we thought Heavy D was fat back in the day.
That's why his name was Heavy.
Yeah, we thought he was fat, but now look at him. Everybody.
I mean, rest in peace. I mean, I look at him.
But if you look at him, people weren't that big. Period.
Man, you crazy.
So people were smaller. Well, now this is maybe a different debate. People were smaller in the 70s. So
you say he's small, big?
Compare him to anybody that's fat now.
You gotta think he dressed to his size, so you really, and if you didn't see him in person, you really didn't realize how big he was.
But see, that's a standard. So you think Heavy D is like really morbidly obese? You think he's really fat?
I'm not saying he's obese, but I know he was big, though. I mean, his name was Heavy D, bro.
I understand. Yeah. But you see him, when you grew up back then, you see him as the standard as fat. Like, a lot of women celebrities now are bigger than him. Women.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
And then he was the, like, kind of, the fat boys wasn't that fat. I know
about
women.
Back then, though, even, like, the only media you had is what you saw on TV, and they kind of influenced the standard, like, Biggie Smalls, right? Big dudes, they wear Coogee and stuff. They saw him do it, you know what I'm saying? 3 6 Mafia, they wear the denim suits and the hot boys. They dudes wearing denim suits, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and see, when
bandanas, soldier rags, and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying?
So when me and, it was all, your clothes can make you feel like you're 10 or whatever. You know
a car.
What I mean? Car, you know what I mean? Like, man, dudes wasn't putting lotion on their face and
some dudes was.
Conditioning, doing facials. You know what I mean? Back then, kind of now that's a thing. So now
I'm not gonna say no names, but I had a homeboy, man. He used to when he used to talk to girls and stuff, he actually put on baby oil like he was Chippendale, man. I ain't gonna say no names. He know who he is. I ain't gonna say no names. Some dudes did get prepped up, man. You know what I'm saying? But then I think what I'm thinking about too is like, do dudes really care about like the extra stuff, like the makeup and stuff like that, when it comes to women? Do you think dudes really care about that, or is that more like the out of 100, that's more like the 10%, not the 80?
I'm 50-50. I'm kind of on the fence about that because I think men don't care, long as you look good. Now, if you don't look good with the natural face, put some eyelashes on. Like put some.
Know, man.
No, I mean that's personal opinion.
Right.
I'm talking in general.
Right.
I'm not talking
talking
about me or not talking about you.
Right.
I think, and I think like this. Whatever looks good on you. I never walked a mile in your shoes.
Right.
I don't know how you feel with makeup on or off. If it makes you feel more confident to have eyelashes on, color on your face, go for it. You look good. You know what I mean? If you feel better without makeup and you look good, hey, you look good.
Right.
But if you ugly with both, you ugly. You know what I mean? I'm on that thing. It doesn't make you or break you to me.
Right.
Do whatever you feel and do what makes you feel good.
What I would say is that don't depend on that fully, because you never know what happened to your financial situation. If you depend on makeup, you depend on eyelashes, if something happened to your finances and you can't afford it, and then you got to go without it, is your security based on the accessories? I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but
like,
honestly, that describe the same thing we're talking about for men.
Yes.
Like you don't feel like yourself if you ain't got that fresh line or you ain't got them. You ain't got the freshest J's on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You may be musty, but you got them J's, and you got that polo, and you got the Gucci sweater, that Gucci belt. You know what I mean? So women do the same thing with some of their makeup. I just feel better. Like some women, I just feel better with my makeup on.
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying the dependability, like, don't depend on that.
I mean, I understand. And that's good advice, but it's just a mental crutch.
It's almost like wearing a mask. Like, what? And how you look with the mask off? You know what I'm saying? Or what do you think about like the pandering part of it? Right? Like, you know, girls now they taking pictures just to really get attention. I guess they wouldn't get out in the real world. I guess like. You know, she take a picture and her cleavage line look like a state line, you know what I'm saying? It's like Arkansas to Memphis. It's like welcome to Memphis, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know if you remember this. Like, you know what I mean? We're in Little Rock, Arkansas. They had this thing like, you know, glamour shots. They'll make you up, they eyebrush your photos, and people would pay.
It's Photoshop before Photoshop. Yeah.
People would pay for that experience, and they have that in their house and stuff like that. They don't really look like that. Right? So you can do that in your own home, and you can do it every day.
But the glamour shots, they want half naked though.
That's even better, right? For them.
Yeah.
So they can make themselves look like whoever they want to, and then they can feel like that. They can putting your best foot forward or your best image forward.
Yes.
And you can do that every day with no restriction, and it's free.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to think people gonna keep it real when they can keep it fake? Come on, I would rather keep it fake.
But then what happens when you got to keep it real though?
You know what I mean? You grin and bear it. You know, you fake your way through. You know what I mean?
It's like getting it. It's like the McDonald's burger. It looks good on the picture, but then when you actually get it, it's not the same. What's on the picture?
But see, it's real life. Who bought the burger? I bought that burger many times.
Exactly. I have. Yes.
Do I expect the burger on the thing? The first 27 times I expected the burger to match the picture. But now I know I'm not getting the burger on the picture I'm still eating the burger. And that's what you do.
That's what life is,
As men, you will see a girl online, they got this big pretty picture, and then you meet them in real life and you still do what you do.
Yeah.
You still married her.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You married the burger in the bag. But you love the burger on the picture.
So moving to the next part, is the 1 to 10 scale, is that a myth or is it truth to that?
I think it's true, but everybody's opinion is different.
Oh, definitely. Them. Yes. Everybody's scale is different.
And
that's why it's a scale.
Yeah. And so there's no universal scale.
We used to grade each other hard. He asked me, like, what you think? I give her a 6. I mean, her attitude bad, so I can't give her too high. Bad attitude could take you down on the scale, up and down. Some people like bad attitudes. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's scale different. Some people like the attitude that adds to your score. Some people it takes away. You know what I'm saying?
And you know, like we grading beauty standards, or and who are we to grade?
Come on,
anyway?
overall.
And then overall, right? So, you know, he used to judge hard. He's like 2.5. That's a person.
But then you see the person like, okay, I see what he's saying now. You know what I'm saying?
But like that's a whole person. That's somebody's child. You know what I mean?
You said what?
That's somebody's child.
But they're an adult now, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you out in the world. It's like being in the NFL draft. I mean, you're gonna get graded. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Even with me, I'm pretty sure I want to high on people's scale. That's fine. Totally fine with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like,
it's just how the world works.
Sometimes it's game time. Maybe I'm not high on the scale, but I can get in the game and play, and I can show you something
right.
different.
And it may change. Change the way
change
things
it
go.
overall. But
because girls, they be honest, girls talk to. They have a scale too. I mean, they don't want to say it out loud, but they have a scale too.
Girls have to be. Girls get more applications or men talking to them, so they have to get graded accordingly.
Yes.
They have to have some sense of standard for themselves.
No, but they say they don't.
You ain't answering everybody in your inbox.
Oh no.
So you know what I mean. It's some kind of standard or scale that you're basing these things off of.
Right.
When you meet somebody, maybe how they approach you is getting graded. It's just a lot of factors that go into that.
Because, like I said, I made scale. Like when I was younger, it wasn't just how a person looked. It's the whole everything, attitude. You know, are they consistent? Like, what's the, are you getting somebody that's like, you be around this person, man? It's a liability every time you're around them. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's the assets worth the liabilities. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes the asset's not worth it, man. You know what I'm saying? You're like looking at an investment. It's like it's not worth the investment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I don't like. That's the thing, right? So everybody say is a 10 is like perfection and things like that. To them, do you think people really believe that when they rate themselves a 10 on any quality? Well, I think my personality is a 10. I think my sense of fashion is a 10. Yeah. Are you know yourself the most, but are you the authority to rate yourself on anything? I
mean, you can do whatever you want. You can rate yourself on anything, but there's a difference between delusion and reality. You know what I'm saying?
Like, what's the line? You know what I mean? Like,
I think everybody in different areas may be like a 10, but it's kind of like Madden. Everybody's rating is different. A D-line rating is going to be different areas than in like a cornerback. Yeah. In the same way, we know each guy, some guy, he may be good at being consistent, may be good at being disciplined, but his communication may be off, you know what I'm saying? Or, it's just with a girl, she may look good, she may dress good, but her attitude or her demeanor, man, kind of repels, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
if you're single, you've been single for a long time, you got to ask yourself, why, boy or girl, why am I single?
Yeah.
Especially if you think you look good. If you're a 10, why are you single and you're a 10? When that's what most guys want, perfection. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's another thing too. Like, so we making it seem like it's about looks and ratings and things like that. So he said you may be like a 5 on this level, on this thing, or communication. You may be a 2 on the work ethic. We're talking about building skills and bettering yourself.
Oh, definitely.
Like, so a proper self-assessment or self-rating could really help you
if you can take the criticism, right?
To get where you need to get.
Right.
All right, you know what I mean? So if you feel like you're perfect, why do you need to go to college? You got all the skills.
That's true.
You know what I mean? You're why didn't that job hire you?
Right.
So everybody hating on you?
Right.
Or you don't got no experience, no degree, and you know everything.
And you didn't build no networks.
And you know what I mean? I don't need no networks.
Yeah.
I'm my own network.
Yeah.
So that's when you
find out real quick.
Delusion stop you from growth.
Oh my God, yes.
Right. So you think you're on the top right now, but you don't really have nothing. But everybody hating on you.
You're on the top, but you're on the top of like a grass mountain. You're not on the top of the mountain, but it just feel like that because you're delusional.
Because you. So we always talking about confidence, the difference between confidence and arrogance.
Yes.
So when you're delusional, it's arrogance with no substance, or confidence with no substance.
So when we was younger, though, would you say when we was younger that confidence had to be a part of your as a man? You had to be confident though, because of competition-wise and what you up against, as far as when you out there dating and stuff.
So
most girls attracted to confident dude. I mean, I've never had a girl say I would like a dude that ain't confident. I don't know.
Or timid or meek or things like that.
You know what I'm saying?
You want to feel protected. So, I think confidence is like fuel. Like
Yeah.
you need motivation to do anything,
Yes,
right?
that's true.
So motivation gets the ball
Yeah.
started, but how you do it, how you go about doing it, it's confidence.
Right.
You know, you can't talk to a woman, you can't even apply for a job without the confidence to take that chance. You know what I mean? Other than that, you'll let fear paralyze you and you won't make any steps to grow. So, you know, confidence is really needed to do really anything. Like, if you, every time you tie your shoe, you think you might not be able to tie it.
Boy.
Like, you know, I'm going to get it wrong a couple of times before I get it.
Right.
You know,
sure.
and that's no way to live. But people don't really think about it on that small of a scale. But that's really how it is.
And the last thing before we get off this is like, how does location, in your opinion, affect beauty or value? It like depending on where you located.
Oh,
like you say, LA,
like
it may be
like
different.
LA team?
Yeah, LA may be different because they do different stuff. Like
well, it's hotter.
Atlanta
Less clothes.
may be different.
They're thinner.
Yeah.
At the,
you think so? In LA?
Yes.
I think that's what you see on TV. I don't think it's the average. I don't know. Average. I don't think the average like that. I don't know.
You know, and
I think those are like the above average maybe. That they can get on TV anyway.
Well, in hotter cities and hotter environments.
Yeah. Like I guess what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Period. Now, I mean, I didn't say better.
I'm saying with money involved and stuff like that, and there's more stuff available.
And then there's more money. Okay, Little Rock, Arkansas, average income is this.
Right. And that's,
LA,
and that's the point I'm going
Los
to make.
Angeles, California is this. So I would say the average there is like kind of more or thinner or whatever the case may be.
I guess what I'm saying is like how many people, like if you can do an average, how many women do you think would get a BBL if they could afford it in Little Rock?
Oh yeah, most
and that's what I'm saying, like location, like.
But you said standard. So yes, the standard is going to be higher there because there are more BBLs, there are more money, they're thinner. So like, or you say now if you say the standard for natural beauty uninterrupted, like maybe it may be born even, but it's very lopsided there in that county versus Pulaski County.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So when I say people are thinner or they may look more commercially beautiful, that's like almost a statement of fact. From here to there, and especially in the South, too. Like the education's lower, the income's lower.
Yeah, that's true.
So, it's gonna be way different. Even the beauty standards.
Is the education lower, or do you just think people just don't want to do it?
No. Like so, you're talking about intelligence in education.
Right.
They might have more intelligence.
Anybody can go get education, but intelligence is something.
Okay, but we can't grade intelligence because you don't test well and you don't take the test. So. When I say the better education, when your school system is 50, 48, 49, you on the bottom.
Yeah.
The education is less.
Yeah.
Because you're like, it's 50 states, you 48.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you on the bottom.
Right.
You know what I mean? If they anywhere in the top 10, ain't no question about the education. Right. Now, and maybe intelligence can't be graded. You know what I mean?
Can. Like we talk about listening. I'm talking about like life intelligence. I'm not talking about academic intelligence. I'm talking about life.
What is the outcome of intelligence?
Oh, you can tell by the results.
Okay, you can tell. No, okay, so what's the results? Money? Is money the result?
No. I think like a person's like stability. Where a person is like mentally. You know what I'm saying?
So you got
you make some unintelligent decisions. It could put you in some weird places mentally.
Yeah, for sure.
I've been there, so
So you got top tier intelligence, but you got
no common sense, right? You can have intelligence but no common sense. You can be highly intelligent but can't flush a toilet.
For sure.
Can't boil eggs. You can be highly intelligent but can't boil eggs.
I mean that's like you're on the spectrum then. Like you gotta.
Everybody's on the spectrum, bro.
No,
we're talking about beauty spectrum. You got intelligence spectrum.
But I'm talking about like the clinically definition of the word, right? So when they like you got a problem, like you got a developmental.
No, I'm talking about common sense. Like, is
When
it intelligent?
no, when
Okay.
when your common sense is too far down, like some people can't just get regular stuff together. But if it's
get
too
it, yeah.
far down,
Yeah.
like flushing a toilet and doing like basic tasks,
Okay.
but you're hyper intelligent in math, you gotta that's a developmental delay.
Oh, well, I'm talking about intelligence. Like, so what does a person need a BBL for? You see what I'm saying? Like, what's the intelligence behind it? That's all I'm saying. Like, what do you need that for?
I mean, I think there's a lot of reasons. You want your body to
But
look
is
a
it
certain
an
way.
intelligent reason?
Yes, I mean,
Is it?
you are entitled to what you want.
No, with the
Like,
risk
no,
and all, when you know all the risk and stuff? Yeah.
you know the risk of getting your wisdom teeth pulled, you can die,
Yeah.
right? So the risk,
But it ain't.
taking a risk for what you want. What you want is very important.
What do they want, though?
They want to look a certain way
For?
for themselves, to make money. Some people invest in BBL because maybe they're OnlyFans, maybe they're strippers, or
Yeah.
maybe they just want to walk into work with confidence. Ever since they were a child, they had a bad body. Their mama was fat, they overweight, but they ain't got no booty.
Why they couldn't just work out?
You ask them that.
I know what I'm saying, but I'm trying to tell you the intelligence.
So,
Right,
okay,
yeah.
well, why couldn't Steve Harvey go to college and work hard and get his millions like that? Why did he have to be a comedian? Because that's what he wanted
But he
to
tell
do.
you that he didn't do it intelligently, though. He tell you.
I mean,
that. He said, don't
exactly.
do it like I did. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he could have did it another way.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
But
I
it
promote.
didn't put harm to his health. It didn't risk his health, though.
All right, so
Anytime you put
some
something
people need to
more in your body.
start somewhere, right? So if the BBL, they use lipo to get the fat off their stomach, they look better, they're more motivated,
They doing other stuff, though.
they're more motivated, they feel better, of their mental health is increased.
Okay.
And now they start working
got a
out
point for you.
because they start working out because it's easier for them to maintain it. It's hard to be motivated when you're sitting and you looking at a Frosty the Snowman every time you work out. You've been working out for months, but now if you see a beautiful woman that you think is beautiful and you work out and you see the results on that,
Right.
maybe that motivates them more.
And I'm guessing the intelligence will say, okay, if I'm working out and I'm looking like Frosty the Snowman, what else am I not doing? Like, do I need to work on my diet now? Because some people, they'll work out, but they won't change their diet, though.
Okay. You're correct. When you're sitting on stage 1 of hard work,
Right, and there's a stage 2, right?
right, and it's the mountain is in front of you, it's hard to be motivated for that. And it's easy
Right.
for maybe somebody in shape to say, hey, you can do what I do. No, you just because you did it don't mean I can do it.
Right.
Don't mean I want to do it.
Right.
And it's a sacrifice either way. You're going to sacrifice time, effort, and energy, or you're going to sacrifice money.
Yeah.
But what did it take to get that money? Time, effort, and energy.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's just a different way.
Right.
And I'm hating on the way you got your body.
No, I'm not
I
hating
mean,
on
no,
the
no,
way.
no, no.
Yeah, I understand.
Most
I
people
was saying.
hating
Yeah.
the way
Yeah.
that you got your body because you paid for it, but you still time, effort, and energy
Right.
to get that the BBL or whatever.
And then next question kind of answers them, right? Accepting validation and not caring what people think, right? We talk about the BBL. Some people, they validate themselves. I got it because I wanted to get it, right? Everybody's validation is different. That's why you have to be able to validate yourself sometimes. You just got to make intelligent decisions, though. That's the only thing to go with it. Don't just say I can do what I want to do. You got to be intelligent with it. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of dudes, like, when we was younger, man, you do what you want to do. You didn't really care about the validation. You just got to do what I'm grown. You know what I'm saying? But when you don't have this common sense to go with it, or using sense the wrong way, like we talk about using empathy the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like, you can really understand empathy in and out, but use it the wrong way to get the upper hand.
You can,
You get the upper hand and take
use
advantage.
emotional intelligence.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
for sure.
To be a world-class manipulator.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But you can't blame the knowledge. A lot of people
No.
blame the knowledge.
No.
Like, well, if he didn't know how to shoot a gun, or he didn't know how to, if he didn't read them psychiatry books, he wouldn't have been able to manipulate women or con so many people.
Right.
Now we blaming the information. Now,
Right.
That's what we doing.
So all right, guys, we're finna get ready to sign out. Well, thanks for watching the podcast. Like, share, subscribe. Anything you want to say before we sign out this thing? All right, we're going to
Nothing.
sign out. Peace.